Welcome to Tales of Honor, a podcast with a mission to tell the true stories of every recipient of our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor podcast. I'm your host, Christoph Ambrosch, and today's episode is number 629. Continuing on with our run of living Medal of Honor recipients, we are nearing completion. If I go into the spreadsheet that I'm keeping of who is left over, let's see here. After today's episode, we'll have completed 58 of the 65 living recipients, making it 89% done. So we're almost there, so close. And it looks like we will be continuing on into July, but we'll be wrapping it up in July. Today's recipient does have a book. There is a link in the show notes for you to go check it out. Make sure you purchase it and give it or listen, however it is you want to read it, whether it's via Audible or via hard copy. Go for it. I don't have any birthdays to go over today, so let's get on with today's Tale of Honor. Thomas was born on the 13th of May, 1939, in Boston, Massachusetts, and his father was a teacher and a school principal. Thomas graduated from Boston College High School in 1956 and from College of the Holy Cross in 1960, and soon after joined the U.S. Navy through their Officer Candidate School program. After 3 assignments aboard ships, he volunteered to deploy to the Republic of Vietnam, and it was his actions on the 15th of June, 1969, that would later earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads,
Lieutenant Commander Thomas G Kelley, while serving as Commander, River Assault Division 152, on the Ong Muong Canal in Quien Hoa Province, Republic of Vietnam, on 15 June 1969.
For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty in the afternoon while serving as commander of River Assault Division 152 during combat operations against enemy aggressor forces, Lieutenant Commander, then Lieutenant, Kelley was in charge of a column of 8 river assault craft which were extracting 1 company of U.S. Army infantry troops on the east bank of the Ong Muong Canal in Quien Hoa Province, when one of the armored troop carriers reported a mechanical failure of a loading ramp. At approximately the same time, Viet Cong forces opened fire from the opposite bank of the canal. After issuing orders for the crippled troop carrier to raise its ramp manually and for the remaining boats to form a protective cordon around the disabled craft, Lieutenant Commander Kelley, realizing the extreme danger to his column and its inability to clear the ambush site until the crippled unit was repaired, boldly maneuvered the monitor in which he was embarked to the exposed side of the protective cordon in direct line with the enemy's fire and ordered the monitor to commence firing. Suddenly, an enemy rocket scored a direct hit on the coxswain's flat, the shell penetrating the thick armor plate, and the explosion spraying shrapnel in all directions. Sustaining serious head wounds from the blast which hurled him to the deck of the monitor, Lieutenant Commander Kelley disregarded his severe injuries and attempted to continue directing the other boats. Although unable to move from the deck or to speak clearly into the radio, he succeeded in relaying his commands through one of his men until the enemy attack was silenced and the boats were able to move to an area of safety. Lieutenant Commander Kelley's brilliant leadership, bold initiative, and resolute determination served to inspire his men and provide the impetus needed to carry out the mission after he was medically evacuated by helicopter. His extraordinary courage under fire and his selfless devotion to duty sustain and enhance the finest traditions of the U.S. Naval Service. One of the serious head wounds mentioned in the citation was the loss of Thomas's right eye. The Navy deemed him unfit for service, but he fought to remain on active duty, which he did. Thomas received the Medal of Honor from President Nixon in a ceremony at the White House on the 14th of May, 1970. He went on to serve as the executive officer of the USS Sample and then as the commanding officer of the USS Lang. In 1990, Thomas retired from the Navy after 30 years of service, including serving as Chief of Staff for the Commander of U.S. Naval Forces in Korea and as the Director of Legislation in the Bureau of Naval Personnel. Thomas continued to serve the military and veteran community as a civilian, working for the Department of Defense, and then as the Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Veterans Services. Once appointed Secretary of that department in 2003, he created programs for the new Global War on Terror veterans returning with traumatic brain injuries. He officially retired from public service in January of 2011, but still found ways to give back. He served as the president of the Medal of Honor Society, spoke at schools, provided meals at a homeless shelter, ran a veterans ministry at church, mentored at Boston College High School, and served on the Army's Arlington National Cemetery Advisory Committee. In 2016, Thomas and his wife, Joan, a former Navy commander, published a joint memoir about their lives and how they met called The Siren's Call and Second Chances. In January of 2023, it was announced that a destroyer that has not yet been completed will be named in Thomas's honor. Thomas Gunnar Kelley is 84 years old as of this recording. And that was a tale of honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor, and if you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family. Tales of Honor is written and produced by Christoph Ambrosch, and theme music is Loyalty and Duty by Floruz Music. If you have any questions, you can send an email to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com, and please be sure to visit talesofhonorpodcast.com for more episodes and information.